You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
All writers are prone to becoming so attached to our characters and stories that we struggle to see why a passage may not be working. It takes another set of eyes to help us nurture our writing to full maturity. At Black Wolf Editorial Services, we strive to enable writers to develop and grow, shaping stories into masterpieces that can stand the test of time. Editing services are provided for all genres and all age categories. Services range from critiques of the short story through to line edits of the full-length novel and copy editing for those preparing for publication. We also offer assistance on generating a writer's bio for your websites, as well as help with those book blurbs and promotional material. We won't abandon you to the masses. We want to celebrate with you in your successes. Black Wolf Editorial Services, nurturing your writing into maturity. For a full list of services and prices, visit us at blackwolfeditorial.com.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control over your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank account, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problems now by calling the experts at Tax Mediation Services and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. Tax Mediation Services is accredited by the Better Business Bureau. Call now for a free case review and a price protection guaranteed quote.
Call Tax Mediation Services now at 800-610-9050. That's 800-610-9050. 800-610-9050.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
This is Slickery Trigger for Rebel Road Tactical. With proper care and feeding, your pistol will be ready when you need it, there to save your life. Shouldn't your gear be that good? Whether you need a holster for comfortable everyday carry or a tough-as-nails holster for your next training course, Rebel Road Tactical has what you need. Check us out on the web at rebelroadtactical.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
Listening live to the Vito and Vito Show. Disrespectful to the executive branch.
I would remind you that extremism in the defense of liberty is no vice.
Don't sign the damn deal, and the president won't.
Therefore, I do not believe that a majority can vote a man's life or property or freedom away from him.
And we're live here on the Vito and Vito Show. I'm Vito.
And I'm Vito.
Oh my God, Vito, why don't you get closer to the microphone?
Really? Bring me the mic.
And we want to welcome everybody to the Vito and Vito Show. Check out the website, www.vitoandvito.com. Give us a follow at Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Vito and Vito Show. And allow my co-host to explain what you're listening to right now on the airwaves.
We are two college-age, millennial, conservative libertarians at a liberal hellhole, Brooklyn, New York, where we are committed to defending the principles of free markets, liberty, and individualism. We hold no punches. on the show.
None whatsoever. Vito and I just coming back from CPAC. Vito, how was it?
We lost one of the microphones.
We lost one of the microphones. We lost
This
ourselves.
is why we're using one microphone. We cannot explain to you why we lost the other microphone because we don't remember.
No, we don't. It was a good time, though.
So it was a good CPAC, as people who hang out with us at CPAC usually know.
I gotta say, CPAC this year was much...
It was different.
It was lower attended. There was less people there.
It was different.
It was very different.
But...
the keynote speaker... Well, not the keynote, the major speaker, Donald Trump.
Well, who was the keynote? Who was the keynote?
It was supposed to be Milo. But that fell through the cracks.
That was BS. Yeah. I've been waiting a while to come out and defend him.
Well, go ahead. We got some time before we play some interviews, so why don't you go ahead and... Go ahead. What do you think about Milo Yiannopoulos? And that they cut him from CPAC over his comments on pedophilia.
Listen, people are saying that he should not have been invited in the first place. He's not conservative. Look. He was invited. I don't think he should have been uninvited. All those, saying that he condones pedophilia, this and that. He doesn't. Okay? He makes jokes, or what he says, what he tries to explain, people completely take out of context. He was on, Joe Rogan's show when he said all this? Mm-hmm. A comedian, who I don't really like, because he's done this before on his show. Like, he's kind of like, gotcha. Like, he's like, oh, you're talking about pedophilia. I'm not going to mention anything. Let you just keep talking, if you listen to the show. So Milo was trying to explain that pedophilia is when you're attracted to prepubescent children, which is sick. We all understand that, and so does Milo. Now, he was trying to tell Joe Rogan, like, have you never seen a 16-year-old who is pretty attractive, who is hot, who is mature for their age? Because then he was talking about how the state arbitrarily comes up with the age of consent, how you have to be 18 years old to have sex. Well, what if you're 17 and you're ready? Or you're with somebody? Or 16? Now, the lower you get, obviously, the worse it is. You can't just be banging 12-year-olds. But if, you see a 17-year-old, Vito, you're like, wow, look at her. She looks like she's 24. And you're like, wait a second, don't do that. The state will arrest you. You'll get in trouble because she's under 18.
Well, I mean,
even though she looks 24.
There's got to be a limit, I think, to protect the children.
Right, but Milo was not saying he's attracted to children. Okay? He wasn't saying any of this. He was explaining what the definition of pedophilia is, and how you've all seen an attractive person who is technically under the arbitrary age of 18. Okay, the same thing happened with Kurt Schilling, how they just they change the words around, make it seem like, oh, you want to bang children. Like, no. Like, because the host doesn't agree. Joe Rogan completely backed out and didn't help Milo. They just left him alone. They left him out to dry. And that didn't help. Because if you had somebody there defending him, well, then you're going to get in the conversation too. It's not just going to be like, oh, look what Milo said on this guy's show. No. And everyone's backing away like, oh, he can't come in CPAC. Everyone's going to think CPAC condones pedophiles. What? So they're allowing what people think, what they think people are going to think, to affect the conference and Milo and his career and his book deal and all this stuff. Which is wrong. Because we have to go with logic and common sense and what he actually said.
I mean, look, I'm not going to go ahead and bash Milo.
No, I like Milo.
I like him too. But when you look at the situation, did the media outmaneuver him?
Well,
was it fake news? Was the spin?
His words were twisted, but how he said it was allowed to be twisted. Which, being in the spotlight for so long, he should know how to word certain things. But then again,
how long ago was this?
I'm sure this was a while ago. These tapes just surfaced. I mean, it was on Joe Rogan's podcast. He's popular. He's a popular comedian. So this is not like just some... Yeah,
well, I mean, it's interesting. And I had a glitch there, ladies and gentlemen. Vito shocked himself. Did you shock yourself there, Vito? It's It's certainly interesting, but finish your thought.
I was saying how Milo not, saying what's on his mind, making the priest joke, saying what he wants to say, and just feeling free to explain a pretty simple definition of pedophilia and being honest.
Yeah.
You know, I'll be honest. Okay, it's
Yeah.
not crazy to say you've seen somebody underage, not a child. This is where you get in trouble. Somebody under the arbitrary age of 18 that is attractive.
So what's the age? Where do you cut it off? This is the question.
No, what happens if you see somebody who is very mature, looks 21, 22?
Let's say you see a 15-year-old who looks like an 18-year-old. What do you do?
Well, you obviously the law says you cannot have any sexual relationship with them, but that doesn't mean you're thinking, "Oh, I'm not attracted until they hit 18." So you tell me a 17-year-old can be smoking hot, but until that one day, until the next day is their birthday, until they turn 18, they're not hot, they're not attractive. Does that make sense?
It's a touchy subject.
It's not touchy.
The fact that the law is working against you.
Yeah, but people turn it around like, "Oh, Milo likes to bang 12-year-olds." No, he never said that. All right, that's ludicrous. And people always come out and say, "Oh my God, how can you do that? I'll never talk to anybody under 18." Shut up. The same thing happened with Kurt Schilling. I forgot on what show when he's saying to the female host, like, "What, you never saw like a young teenage boy say, wow, he's a good-looking kid. He's a beautiful boy. He's gonna grow up to be a handsome man or something like that." And like, what? I never thought any underage a boy was attractive. Like, no, shut up. He wasn't talking about that. Okay, you're missing the point. And by you
what about
you
Father
let them
Michael?
out to dry.
What about the priest?
He made a joke. What? Milo? How old is he?
I don't know.
He is
late 20s.
Late 20s, early 30s. By this point, almost 20 years ago, he was what? Raped, sexually assaulted, harassed, taken advantage of by a priest.
Supposedly, yeah.
Right, but that's his personal issue. He's come out about it. He has made jokes about it, as we see on that podcast. So what? We're gonna attack him because he was taken advantage of as a young teenager. He even said that he was sexually mature at a younger age than most people. That's up to him.
How many times do we see young girls, whatever?
Now be careful, because he also used the word younger boys.
Even younger guys or whatever, You see it on Maury or Jerry Springer show or whatever. Just look at the high schools around us. I mean, it's pretty simple. You got kids, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You got those kids out there who are sexually mature for their age. What does that mean? What is a sexually mature
They've been
person?
drinking that milk with the hormones.
So...
that they're 16, 17, but they look like they're 21, 22. And they also dress and act like it. For example, high school parties. We're in college, so this was not long ago. When we went to these high school parties, we were also underage, but all the girls, they were underage. Did they look like they were 16 and 17? No. The things they wore? Really? Really? I confused some of these high school parties with like Scores. Or Foxy's.
Which is strip clubs in New York, by the way.
Scores is popular. I think they would know that.
If you don't, it's by the way, there was a Scores strip club, Gentlemen's Club in the Trump Taj Mahal in Atlantic City.
They have excellent steak. Scores is actually very high-end. Foxy's, not so much.
That's a crummy strip club. Forget that. Okay, keep going.
Listen, I throw food stamps at those.
Vito.
I make it hail.
That's a racist comment. Is it going to be a racist comment?
No.
No?
It's a low-end, dingy, bougie, whatever word you want to call.
I don't know.
Strip club. How is that racist? How do you even know what... Really, Vito?
I am going to take a step back from this conversation because this is a hot-button issue to the point where we're going to get... You could bring yourself down, buddy.
Newsflash. Milo and the Vitos are not banging underage children. Okay?
Anyway, I want to dedicate this show in memory of a fierce combatant to the right. Nice segue.
That was a smooth segue.
With the blessing from Father Michael, I want to go ahead and, but in all seriousness, to Alan Combs, who just recently passed away. What a shame. Absolute shame. Yeah, right there, Vito.
No, I'm glad you're asking Father Michael to bless the
I'm joking, but
deceased.
I am joking. But in all seriousness, Alan Combs, great fighter on the left and a fierce combatant. I used to listen to his radio show all the time, actually, on Fox News Radio. He was a fierce fighter for the left. I got to say, his arguments were always sharp. He was good to go against. He was wrong, but he was always good to watch for another opinion, and I think for that you have to value him. Alan Combs recently passed away this past week, or last week rather, excuse me. So our condolences go out to him and his family. To Alan Combs, this one's for you. Anyway, let's get started on some of these interviews here. We got a bunch here from CPAC. Let's start with the first one. Let's start with, here's an actress, author. She has all these great things. She just recently wrote a book. She starred amongst Tom Selleck. Yeah, in Magnum P.I. Susan Swift. You got to hear this children's book she has coming out. It's called
Good Guys with Guns.
Good Guys with Guns. You're gonna love this.
Series.
It's a series. She explains it in the interview. Don't go anywhere. Vito and Vito right here. Vito and Vito here at CPAC 2017 with a good friend of the show, Susan Swift. Vito, listen to this. She's an author. She's a lawyer. She's an actress.
What doesn't she do?
I don't know. And she's a contributor at Politichicks. Hey, Susan, tell me. You met Tom Selleck, right? Because you were in Magnum P.I.?
I did, yes, and I got to ride in the red Ferrari.
Okay, now that's cool. Okay, everybody else here is a chump. You got it, Susan. All right, Susan, you got this new book coming out. It's a children's book, and the book is called Good Guys with Guns at Home. Why don't you tell everybody about the book?
Okay, Good Guys with Guns. There are 3 books in the series. The first one is At Home, and that recognizes police officers and the sheriffs and people who protect us where we live. Because I want to counter Black Lives Matter. I want to counter Soros, and I want to explain to the children of the snowflake generation that actually we need to start helping support law enforcement. Otherwise, we're not going to have a country. The second book in Good Guys with Guns series is Abroad, and that's going to recognize our military who serve around the world protecting Americans. And then the third book is Good Guys with Guns in American History, and that'll start with George Washington and the history of why the Second Amendment is so very, very important.
I mean, this is so important because for years we've been talking about how the leftists have pretty much co-opted education with the younger generation. They've made it all about safe spaces. They made it all about how guns are evil. They gave you the whole runaround, Susan. But now there's finally something on the other side which is so inspiring to see, because for so long we haven't seen anybody come out with such an innovative idea like this. We're going after, well, I don't want to say we're going after children. That kind of sounds a little crazy. We're targeting children. We're giving them. It makes it worse, right? Yeah, Good Guys with Guns targeting children. No, we're having. We're going. How do I put this?
You're triggering me, man.
I'm triggering you. I'm going to take this book to college.
We're helping kids learn without knowing they're learning.
That's better. And we're giving them a different perspective. And hopefully parents, smart parents, will give this book as a term for the other side. You know, there's 2 sides to the argument.
The book will teach children, it will trigger liberals, and it will make guns great again.
I love it.
That's
great.
Love
that. How much opposition have you had to this book? I mean, people yelling and screaming about, oh my God, this is terrible. How could you show children about guns? And how could you introduce them to this perspective? How crazy has it been?
Well, I'm introducing it at CPAC, so I'm in my safe space. So we're going to see what happens when the liberals start getting wind of it, and if they get triggered, I really hope they do.
Susan, now, Donald Trump is president of the United States. I'm ecstatic, and I assume that you're ecstatic too. Yeah. Great. Okay, she's shaking her head, and she's ecstatic.
Yes.
Now, Donald Trump is president. He spoke here at CPAC. He spoke about fake news. He spoke about CNN. He spoke about how he's going to build a wall. He's done all these great things. What do you think of the Trump administration so far?
So far, I'm thrilled with the administration and who he's appointing. I'm really, really thrilled to know that he's going to get drug dealers and criminal aliens the hell out of our country. That's one thing he said. And that he is going to eradicate ISIS. I was thrilled about all of these things. And that he is going to protect our Second Amendment. Those are all things he said in there, and I was just thrilled. So far, I'm very, very encouraged. The only thing I'm a little bit worried about is his kind of protectionist trade policy, because I really do believe in free markets. I believe that that's how we change the world. But you know what? I'm going to wait and see. I'm going to see what he actually does instead of prejudging the man. I mean, you know, everybody gave Obama all of this chance and love, and that, oh, he was going to be so wonderful. Well, I'm going to give President Trump at least that much chance, and I like him a lot more. So I'm going to wait, and I'm going to see. And people don't understand. He speaks in Trumpisms. He has these wonderful, broad, you know, I guess he's from New York. And he says, it's going to be great. It's going to be so beautiful. It's going to be the best, the biggest. I love it. And, you know, that you New Yorkers, you know how that is. And maybe it doesn't in Texas, where you don't know if that makes sense or not. But it's New York. And so I'm going to trust the New Yorkisms, the Trumpisms. I'm going to wait and see how it all plays out.
I mean, it's a big business type of model. It's just, you know, this, you know, how do I put this? Exorbitant, you know, excitement, you know, energy that sort of flows from us and people of New York. So this is great, and it's a trip to finally see somebody from New York who's not a liberal, do something like this. So I am just ecstatic with the president. Susan, we want to thank you. Where can we find more about the book and about you and what you're doing?
Sure. And it is the very first pro-gun children's book that I know of. It is on Amazon, so you can, look at Amazon, Good Guys with Guns at home. You can also find it on my website, which is susanswift.net. There's a great big button there. You can order it through my website or go to Amazon. And if you go to my website, susanswift.net, you'll find me on, how to connect with me on social media, send me a line, all that kind of stuff. You can follow me on social media at Real Susan Swift.
Awesome.
Excellent.
Susan, we're going to put these in safe spaces all across the country, and we're going to get these snowflakes to join the fight. Thank you so much, Susan.
Thank you.
Thank you, Susan. I appreciate it. And that was Susan Swift here on the Vito and Vito show. What a great person.
Yeah, good friend from the West Coast.
Yeah, and she's got a great book, Good Guys with Guns, and you can check it out at Amazon.com, so go ahead and search the book up there. You think this is going to catch on, Vito?
I think so.
I think so.
We have the book. It's really well written.
We have the book. We've reviewed Good Guys with Guns. The pictures are nice. All the colors are within the lines.
Well, it's true.
It's true. It is. Yeah. No, seriously.
It's a great book.
Yeah, it is a great book.
And I think it's a topic that will catch on. Maybe not with certain liberals, but I think it'll be popular in the right-wing community. I think that I'll get the book. I don't have kids.
Who are you going to share this book to?
I don't know. I'll give it to the priest. I'm sure he knows some kids.
Father Michael.
I wonder how many people listen to our show and just turning it off.
I don't know. Because
we met a few people that think like these jokes are just too sick for them.
Whatever.
We never talk about the priest.
Laugh a little bit, will
it's
you?
A joke. Ha ha ha. Priest didn't touch me. Maybe Milo. Relax.
Did you know Milo? He went on Bill Maher.
Yeah.
And it's pretty cool. He was going up. He was pretty, he's well equipped to go after Bill Maher.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So I was certainly very proud.
And he's funny.
He's hilarious.
He's not politically correct,
not
which has come to bite him
in the behind.
Mm-hmm. Which is unfortunate, which I think is stupid.
Yeah, I give the guy a lot of credit.
But if he's looking for any work, I'm sure he can come help out Vito and Vito.
Oh, sure, yeah.
We'll accept him. Open arms.
Anyway, Donald Trump spoke at CPAC.
Yes. We saw him fly in on Marine One and fly out.
What'd you think?
By the helicopters?
No. Donald Trump.
I like him. That was a great speech. We were in the media section towards the back, and our friend Connor, actually, who's come on the show a couple of times, professional photographer, got really close, got some great pictures. That was gorgeous. We're going to have to grab some of those photos. Listen, Donald Trump doesn't care about anything.
Nope.
He just says whatever he wants. But did he not let in the Times, the New York Times, or CNN, what was it? He's just kicking out media. He's just saying the fake news is not allowed in here. He's going on about the Clinton News Network. He was calling. They were talking about the polls. I don't know what he was talking about the polls.
He won. What is he going on about Clinton and the polls for? Other than that, I was very proud of him. You can check out the CPAC speech. Just type it up, Donald Trump, President Donald Trump CPAC speech, and he did a great job. He did a great job corralling the people, and he started talking about jobs and opportunity, and he gave a hopeful sense to America that we haven't seen.
I thought I would be. I thought it would feel different to actually watch a sitting president speak.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, but it doesn't feel like that. It doesn't feel like he's a president.
Really?
It's like
they had the seal out. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, but it's
and Mike Pence. We saw Mike Pence speak. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Mike Pence has gotten a lot better, by the way. We saw him here, Vito and I, at the New York State GOP dinner a couple years ago.
I guess he got a new speechwriter.
Man, he was boring. He was one of the worst speakers I've ever seen. And
he made a lobster dinner boring.
He was able to turn it around, and he is a great vice president and a great speaker now. So he's done wonderful work.
When he ran for VP at the Women's March, when he spoke, it was better.
Yeah.
Just, I want to listen.
I give the VP a lot of credit. Listen, Vito and Vito going to break. When we return, more interviews here from CPAC. Don't go away after this.
Who might you save?
Your mother, your father, your husband, uncle, aunt, son.
Learn FAST, F-A-S-T, the sudden signs of a stroke, and you could save.
Your friend, teacher, boss.
F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911. F-A-S-T. That's F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911. The sooner they get to the hospital, the sooner they'll get treatment. And that can make a remarkable difference in the recovery of
your neighbor, the waiter, grandmother, grandfather.
So learn FAST, the sudden signs of a stroke, then pass it on, because you never know who might save you.
Your wife, your colleague.
Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org, brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
It may be hard to believe, but people just like you are already saving money. FeedThePig.org makes it easy. Their simple savings plan teaches you how to start saving without going overboard. So you don't need to mooch off your friends.
You gonna finish that grape?
You mean the one in my mouth?
You don't need to stop buying the necessities.
What you're smelling is a natural musk.
Ew.
You don't need to be a medical test subject.
How do you feel?
Mostly okay. Sometimes, though.
You don't need to get a second job as a stuntman.
We need a new stuntman. Let's break for lunch.
You just need an internet connection. Don't get left behind. Start your personal savings plan with the tips and tools on feedthepig.org. That way, you don't need to sell your soul to the devil.
$15 is the best I can do.
All right, deal.
Brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs, the California Society of CPAs, and the Ad Council.
Fighting the Common Core standards? Need a powerful tool to help inform others on this harmful education initiative? You're covered with Common Ground on Common Core, the collection of essays by 20 top education experts and activists. Reviewers call it the best single resource on the topic. You can share it with literally anyone. Order your print or digital copy of Common Ground on Common Core today. Just visit resoundingbooks.org. That's resoundingbooks.org. And get $2 off when you tell them Vito and Vito sent you. Paid for by Resounding Books Pack.
It's important to plan ahead for emergencies, like the storm. When it kicked in, we had a plan. Separated. We were able to get in touch with each other in no time.
Idea how to find each other.
The whole experience was
the most frightening 10 hours of my life.
If there's one piece of advice I'd offer other moms out there, it's to stay calm and keep to the plan.
Message.
Some parents plan ahead, some don't. Make sure you know where to find your family in an emergency. Start your plan at ReadyPA.org, brought to you by ReadyPA, FEMA, and the Ad Council.
Go back in the Vito and Vito Show. Check out the website, www.vitoandvito.com. Give us a follow, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Vito and Vito Show. We got some things we want to talk about to you right now in the Vito and Vito Show. Something very important to us. Something very important to you. There's a bunch of great speakers at CPAC, but one of them really stood out. Dale Bellis from Liberty Health Share stood out, spoke a great speech about reclaiming healthcare and getting it back for the people. That is absolutely amazing. And I got to say, this company is absolutely an innovator when it talks about taking charge of healthcare. Let me explain to you what this is. Join a community of health-conscious Americans who practice long-standing Christian principles in sharing healthcare costs. Liberty Health Share exists for everyone who purchases healthcare for themselves or their family or wants to control their own health share. Liberty Health Share is not insurance. It's not insurance. It unites like-minded Americans to share healthcare costs together. You contribute a monthly share, it's placed in what's called a share box until the matched amount until it's matched to another member's eligible bills. You visit your doctor. You show your member ID. Doctors submit bills to Liberty Health Share. Liberty Health Share processes these bills. They all share the cost with other members. Liberty Health Share pays your bills and you get a confirmation. It's cost sharing with our advanced shared direct bill payment system. The amount in a member's share box is automatically transferred directly to another member's share box for any eligible medical expense. Multiple members do the same and funds are allocated to pay the shared bills. Totally transparent, totally in line with the Obamacare, which will not be around for long. And it is an absolute wonderful thing. Listen, go call this phone number, 855-58-LIBERTY, 855-58-LIBERTY. Again, 855-58-LIBERTY. Any questions, give that number a call and ask for your free decision guide. Also go online, libertyhealthshare.org, libertyhealthshare.org. And go ahead and get a free quote and see what's going on, how to enroll. Real easy. And we even have an interview signed up here from our good friend Dale Bellis after his speech. We're going to speak to Dale right now here in the Vito and Vito. Vito and Vito here with our good friend Dale Bellis of Liberty Health Share. Welcome back, Dale.
Thank you, Vito. I appreciate the opportunity to be with you guys.
Well, it is great to have you back, Dale. Answer to the good people at home, what is Liberty Health Share?
Yeah, Liberty Health Share is a nationwide nonprofit association of families, men and women, across the nation who've united around a common cause, and that's really paying for and sharing in each other's medical expenses. We do that without the aid of an insurance company or the government. It's just a regular, systematic way of meeting healthcare expenses on a whole different premise, and it's mutual aid, mutual assistance. It taps into the tradition of America of helping one another when we have a need, and we just employ that principle for healthcare.
Well, Obamacare has run into a lot of problems recently. A bunch of healthcare companies are pulling out of the exchanges. So does this mean that a lot of people are going to need some healthcare? They're going to need some health insurance or a health sharing plan. So what does Liberty Health Share offer them?
Yeah, it's really fascinating to me that it continues to show the flaws, the problems with insurance. Insurance as a mechanism is meeting these issues, these ceilings regarding pricing that they can't deal with. And so that's why we've abandoned the insurance model and instead have created a whole different paradigm, which is Vito, if you guys have a medical bill, we've got an entire community of people who are prepared to help share your costs. And we send our share amount, we call it, every month directly to the person who has the expense. We message them with cheer or encouragement or prayer, whatever the case may be, and we help pay each other's medical costs. That's a whole different mindset, frankly, than insurance. We are making healthcare sharing available to everyone, but they really have to evaluate, is this the premise? Are these the ethics that we identify with? If so, man, we welcome them. Come on in.
How about pre-existing conditions and drug coverage? How do you deal with that?
Yeah, we share in expenses related to pharmacy. Whenever you go to the doctor, it's prescribed to you. We'll share in that. You go to the hospital, all the medical or the prescription costs, we define it as 45 days before and 45 days after a hospital stay. People ask, why before? Well, sometimes you have to do use medication before you go for a surgery or something like that. That's all included. We don't share, however, in maintenance drugs. For instance, I'm a type 2 diabetic. We have a program with Liberty Health Share where we assign health coaches to particular conditions. That's one of them. But my meds every month I pay out of my pocket. So we're here to really help with those things that are unexpected and unaffordable. However, you asked me about pre-existing conditions. We don't share in pre-existing conditions in the first year. So people just need to be aware, and we define pre-existing as any condition in the last 2 years. You had something 5 years ago, we don't even address that. But within the last 2 years, so people need to look and make sure that this is suitable for them.
All right, Dale, where can we find more about Liberty Health Share and get people signed up?
LibertyHealthShare.org, LibertyHealthShare.org. Best place to go. There's a place to ask for an info pack. We call it a decision guide. Just give us your email and we'll ship it to you by way electronically or by mail, whatever the case may be. Phone number to talk to one of our valued advisors in our contact center, or just peruse the pages of the website, libertyhealthshare.org.
Dale Bellis of Liberty Health Share. Thanks a lot, Dale.
Man, thank you, guys. It's a pleasure to be with you.
My man. Dale Bellis of Liberty Health Share. Talking about that great company, Vito. It really is. It's a innovative, different company.
Mm-hmm.
Doing something for a change. So I got to give it to them.
That's what happens in America.
Yes, it is, and I'm proud of companies like that. Yeah. And I'm proud of working with Dale, and I'm proud to spread his message and that company's message, because it is a very important thing that we get freedom of choice back into patients' hands and away from the bureaucratic government and corrupt insurance companies. Listen, let's move on. Also here, Senator Ted Harvey here on the Vito and Vito Show. Good friend. Poor guy. I felt so bad.
Why?
We had him running around looking for us. It was a bit of a hassle to get him.
Yeah,
but we got him. We hung out with him. He's awesome. He's a cool guy. And all the ladies kept coming up to him, grabbing at his tie. And I'm like, hey, leave him alone. Leave him alone. Senator Ted Harvey here on the Vito and Vito Show talking about Trump. Vito and Vito here at CPAC 2017 with a good friend of the show, Senator Ted Harvey. Senator, welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me on, guys. Appreciate it.
Hey, it's good to have you on, Senator. Listen, you had something going on earlier, the Stop Hillary PAC. We brought you on to talk about how we could stop Hillary. Well, we stopped her.
We did it.
And now we want to know what you're going to do and what the focus is.
Well, it was an incredible 3-year run. Who would have ever guessed that the Stop Hillary PAC would have grown into the organization that it did over those 3 years? We got into the effort before Hillary even announced her candidacy, and our goal was to make sure that the most corrupt individual ever to run for president never stepped foot in the White House ever again. And over the 3-year period, we grew an army of grassroots patriots across the country that wanted to take back the White House, take back our country, and we grew our organization to over 2 million people. And after the election, the next day, you saw what was going on with the Democrats having their spontaneous uprisings across the country on school campuses, and that was nothing more than a well-orchestrated effort by the Soros organizations and the Clinton Foundation to try to discredit the election and discredit Trump's presidency. And so we decided that we needed to continue to be in this fight, and since we defeated Hillary, we changed the name of the organization and started a new project called the Committee to Defend the President, committeetodefendthepresident.com. And we have taken all of our members and our energy and our focus to going after the Democrats and calling out the Democrats when they are doing any of these outrageous efforts like what you saw on Inauguration Day when they were burning cars down at the ground and breaking windows. And we are now getting involved in the 8 seats across the country where Democrats currently hold those Senate seats, but the president won by over 60% of the vote. So we're running commercials in all of those 8 states right now, putting pressure on them, getting them to support not only the Supreme Court nomination, but also the Trump agenda, which is to lower taxes, do away with Obamacare, build defense, and the conservative agenda that we, the people, got all of these Republicans elected in the legislature. So we're putting as much pressure as we can on the Democrats to try to defend the president and his administration.
I mean, President Trump has been one to keep his campaign promises, which is a bit of a shock because politicians typically never keep their campaign promises. No offense, Senator. They never really keep their campaign promises, but now the president seems to be following through on what he said he was going to do. So what is the number one thing that is probably going to happen in the Trump administration that your PAC is fighting for? What is something that candidates down ballot can use as a ticket to say, look, the president did this, I'm going to support him in the next step of doing this?
Well, that's 2 issues right there, because I believe the most important thing that the president can do is appoint conservative constitutional Supreme Court justices, and certainly with Gorsuch, that's a great first step. I think one of the news items that came out of this event, CPAC event this week, was Ted Cruz yesterday said that he believes that there will be another vacancy announced in the summer. And if we do that and we're able to put another strong constitutionalist on the court, that will change the judiciary for generations and generations to come. So that, I believe, is the most important thing we can do, is get 8 Democrats to support the president and support the Republicans to be able to break a filibuster and get the 60 votes necessary to break a filibuster. But I have always argued that one of the most important things Republicans need to do is stand up for the sovereignty of this country and build a wall and stop giving rewards to people who come to our country illegally. And we do that in a number of ways, and I've carried bills for years to try to limit that in Colorado, and I think that the Republican Party has run away from that issue for way too long, and they handed Donald Trump a gift on a platter. And the reason why he won the nomination is because none of his opponents in the primary were willing to touch that issue, with a 10-foot pole. And Donald Trump took it, went all the way to the White House and run. And I believe that is the number one issue that the American people want the government to solve, is the invasion of our borders by people who have not come through the process, the immigration process, legally. And I think the Republican Party leaders at all levels of government need to jump on that bandwagon and solve this issue.
Yeah, I think that's a perfect plan, victory strategy. But Senator, last question: when we're talking about winning on down ballot races, because this is really the key, is the Congress and House of Representatives and the Senate. This is the key to really all legislation. When we're talking about down ballot races, you say over 60% of voters who voted for Democrats or have Democratic senators, 60% of them voted for Donald Trump. So, what is the plan to effectively get them to convert? I mean, ultimately,
I'm not trying to convert Democrats. I'm trying to throw Democrats out of office.
All right.
And my goal is to elect 8 Republicans in those seats that Trump won by 60%. And if we're able to do that, it will have huge, long-lasting ramifications on the future of our country. And there is no reason why we shouldn't win West Virginia. There's no reason why we shouldn't win Montana, why we shouldn't win Missouri, why we shouldn't win South Dakota. These are states that are Republican states that for one reason or another, the Democrats control it, and the Republican Party can easily pick up, just right off the top of my head, those 5 states, and there's 8 total that Trump won by 60% or more. And I believe that in 2018, if the Republicans actually follow through and move forward on the agenda that they ran on, we will have the ability to improve our economy, put people back to work, and change the outcome of the elections. If the Republicans do not do it, they only have this one chance. If they do not do it, why would any conservative voter support them in the future? They passed repeal of Obamacare, I don't know how many times, 8 times, and had it vetoed, yet they can't get it through Congress right now when they have the votes necessary to get it through. I'm very concerned about what will happen if the Republican Party doesn't fulfill their promises. There's going to be payback by the voters, as well they should be. They work for us, not the other way around.
That's right. Senator Ted Harvey. Senator, what's the name of the pack again, and where can we find more information about it?
Thank you. CommitteeToDefendThePresident.com.
Excellent. Thanks, Senator. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Senator. I appreciate it. Senator Ted Harvey here on the Vito and Vito Show. Great friend of the show. Great guy. Working to keep President Trump and get his things passed, Vito.
Mm-hmm.
You got to love that.
Good friend of the show.
Yeah, good friend of the show. You got to like that a lot. Listen, CPAC in general, we have one more interview to play. We're going to play it after the break. What do you think, Vito, of CPAC in general? How good of a time did you have?
It's always a good time. Mm-hmm. It's always great meeting people, especially people that come together who support the show, support the conservative values and ideas, and voted to make Donald Trump president. And it was great when he actually came and spoke. You know? Complete opposite of what we see with the Democratic Party.
It's fun to watch him.
Yeah.
That was the kicker.
Oh, yeah. He's a New Yorker.
Yeah. He's one of us. And we got that a lot. People, they are embracing the New York values.
Well, listen, we started that, okay?
What do we
People like the accent and the New York thing.
Yeah, I guess if Trump wants to thank anybody, it's Vito and Vito.
Yeah. Now they come, because they always at CPAC, and people listen to shit like, the accents in New York, there's this, that. Now Donald Trump's doing it.
I always stop maybe 6 or 7 times at CPAC just being asked to just say words.
You remember when this guy asked us to speak to his girlfriend?
Yeah.
He just talked to just say words.
I think it was the Values Voters Summit, or maybe
this is somewhere in D.C.
Was it D.C. or maybe it was Philadelphia?
I don't
remember.
Talk to my girlfriend. It's like, listen, pal. That's dangerous.
Yep.
That's dangerous.
Come talk to my girlfriend. Just say
words to her. She likes how you guys speak.
That's a fetish. Right. That's sick.
Where are you staying?
Sure. What's your room number? No, that's a sick thing.
What do you want to say to you? What are you doing later?
That's crazy. Oh. But they love the accents. People love the accents. I got to give it to them.
I know what accents they're talking about.
Neither do I. When I hear everybody else speak, I hear them speaking to somebody from Florida.
They talk so slow.
Yeah, very slow. And you guys out there in D.C. or
not
maybe
mentally.
The rest of the country. But when you guys drive, none of you guys know how to use your horn. I mean, it must be just us.
No, they stop.
They stop. They
stop
walk across the street. Not over here.
I hate when people, they like hold the door open for you, like, good morning. Like, listen, it's 8 o'clock. Don't speak to me. What do you want from me? Why?
Lack of manners from you, huh?
No, it's not manners. It's what do you want? Why are you trying to, how was your night? I don't know.
People are being friendly.
But no, you're not friendly in New York. If you're walking up to me, either it's something very important or you want something.
No wonder these people are miserable over here.
We're not miserable.
Really?
I'm content. I get my stuff done. If I win a conversation, I'll call you. I'm going to walk to the corner store.
And smell the roses.
We don't have roses in New York.
Oh, well, whatever.
All right, they're too expensive.
Stop and smell the pavement. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Unbelievable.
We have a commercial?
Yeah, we got a commercial. Don't go anywhere. Vito and Vito coming back with the American Petroleum Institute. And forget about it, mamas. Don't go anywhere after this.
Who might you save?
Your mother, your father, your husband, uncle, aunt, son.
Learn FAST, F-A-S-T, the sudden signs of a stroke, and you could save.
Your friend, teacher, boss.
F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911. F-A-S-T. That's F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911. The sooner they get to the hospital, the sooner they'll get treatment. And that can make a remarkable difference in the recovery of
your neighbor, the waiter, grandmother, grandfather.
So learn FAST, the sudden signs of a stroke, then pass it on, because you never know who might save you.
Your wife, your colleague.
Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org, brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
It may be hard to believe, but people just like you are already saving money. FeedThePig.org makes it easy. Their simple savings plan teaches you how to start saving without going overboard. So you don't need to mooch off your friends.
You gonna finish that grape?
You mean the one in my mouth?
You don't need to stop buying the necessities.
What you're smelling is a natural musk.
Ew.
You don't need to be a medical test subject.
How do you feel?
Mostly okay. Sometimes, though.
You don't need to get a second job as a stuntman.
We need a new stuntman. Let's break for lunch.
You just need an internet connection. Don't get left behind. Start your personal savings plan with the tips and tools on feedthepig.org. That way, you don't need to sell your soul to the devil.
$15 is the best I can do.
All right, deal.
Brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs, the California Society of CPAs, and the Ad Council.
Fighting the Common Core standards? Need a powerful tool to help inform others on this harmful education initiative? You're covered with Common Ground on Common Core, the collection of essays by 20 top education experts and activists. Reviewers call it the best single resource on the topic. You can share it with literally anyone. Order your print or digital copy of Common Ground on Common Core today. Just visit resoundingbooks.org. That's resoundingbooks.org. And get $2 off when you tell them Vito and Vito sent you. Paid for by Resounding Books Pack.
It's important to plan ahead for emergencies, like the storm. When it kicked in, we had a plan. We were able to get in touch with each other in no time.
Idea how to find each other.
The whole experience was
the
fine.
most frightening 10 hours of my life.
If there's one piece of advice I'd offer other moms out there, it's to stay calm and keep to the plan.
Message.
Some parents plan ahead, some don't. Make sure you know where to find your family in an emergency. Start your plan at ReadyPA.org, brought to you by ReadyPA, FEMA, and the Ad Council.
And we're back here on the Vito and Vito show. This show is just, I tell you, it's something else. Listen, we don't got a lot of time, so we're going to jump right into it. The American Petroleum Institute. Listen to what these great guys have to say about American energy policy and the Donald Trump right here on the Vito and Vito show. And we are live here at CPAC 2017. We keep doing this, and we're not tired.
Nope.
Here we are, Vito, with two fine gentlemen from the American Petroleum Institute, Robin Rorick and Reed Porter. We want to talk to these gentlemen today about the Dakota pipeline and how it is so vital to the country's energy independence. Welcome to the show, gentlemen.
Great to be here. Excellent, thank you.
Hey, it's great to have you guys on. Guys, tell us a little bit about Dakota pipeline and why liberals are up in arms about making a big deal about not allowing America to be energy independent.
Well, it's really, the environmentalists and environmental activists have really taken this as an opportunity to make this their poster child issue to fight. And when you look at the opposition to this, what you're seeing are a bunch of national-level environmental organizations who are kind of manipulating the situation, trying to get the local population folks, whether they're tribes, whether they're local environmentalists, trying to get them spun up to provide opposition to the pipeline. This is a great opportunity for the country. It provides jobs, provides more crude oil, which lowers the prices ultimately for consumers. So it makes prices at the pump more affordable. So this is a win for the country with jobs and the economy. And it's a safe way to transport oil. 99.99% of the product that travels through pipeline reaches its destination safely. So this is a win-win-win all around.
Well, I mean, what do we say to the people out there who are claiming the Donald Trump naysayers who say he's going to destroy the environment and, the world's going to burn up and all that stuff? Give us a little indication as to energy policy in the Trump administration. How's that going to go?
Well, the first thing that I say, that I try to tell people is stop being myopic here. I don't think we necessarily need to be a society of either ors. This is an issue of being both and. We can protect the environment and we can bring cheap, affordable oil and natural gas to the market, and that's what this is about. So safety record, as I said, 99.99% effective. We are working to drive out that last 0.01. And we're committed to do that, so we won't stop until we get that 0.01 out. So this is an issue about safety, it's an issue about environmental performance, but it's also an issue about jobs and the economy, and this pipeline will provide both.
So we have a lot of listeners out in the South, by the way, and a lot of that is a breeding ground for natural gas exploration. Right. So what's going on? How safe is it? I want the people to know, those listening, just how safe natural gas is, because there's a lot of talk that it is dangerous to the environment and that it poisons water, and we hear it all the time. So how safe is natural gas, and how better of a solution is that than fossil fuels?
So when safely produced and transported, natural gas is one of the safest means of energy. In fact, if you look at the amount of energy that's being produced from power generation right now, natural gas is the leading producer of energy and power generation. And people who are concerned about the environment, here's another win-win. So I got to tell you, not only is the United States the world's leading producer of oil and natural gas in the world, but because of the onset of natural gas, particularly in power generation, carbon emissions are at 20-year lows. So again, this is about a both and, not an either or. And we're able to produce more energy, more oil and natural gas, drive down carbon emissions, and do it in a safe manner.
I mean, this is just great. I mean, it's opening the floodgates to American independence. No longer we reliant on foreign oil. Just how long do you think it'll be till America is fully energy independent, or at least not so dependent on Middle Eastern oil?
Well, if you look at the numbers right now from EIA, we are importing less crude oil and natural gas than we have in recent past for years at this point. So it's a good story to tell. The other thing too with natural gas is that the benefits from the environment, the jobs and the economy. We talk a lot about the energy renaissance. We did a study not too long ago, and we looked at the amount of infrastructure like pipelines, like Dakota Access, like Dominion's project, Atlantic Coast Pipeline in Virginia. We looked at a number of these projects, but we also looked at the projects that could be to support the energy renaissance. And over a 12-year period, we found that it could generate, if you were to develop all that infrastructure, it could generate over 1 million jobs in the United States and over $1.1 trillion for the economy. These are real numbers, real jobs, and real dollars for the economy.
Private dollars.
That's right, and a lot of these pipelines all these pipelines are private investment dollars. They're very different from highways and bridges that are publicly funded. Pipelines are privately funded investment and infrastructure.
I love it. Last question. We're from New York, so fracking is a big thing.
Yeah, right.
Okay, there's been such opposition to fracking over in New York by a terrible governor, Andrew Cuomo. How do we go ahead and convince the people with facts here? Because you guys are the experts in this. We're just talking heads. What are the facts here in fracking? Just how safe is it as compared to all the other things?
Look to your neighbors in Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania is one of the leading producers of natural gas, and they are funding schools. It's going to local government revenues, local economies, and people are thriving off of the opportunities that development there have afforded. And then you look to the rest of the country. Look at Colorado. Look at just throughout the United States. All the contributions that have made to make the United States the leading producer of oil and natural gas. And our allies abroad are benefiting from it as well. And it's something that New York could be a part of. It's they're already in New York, the state in New York City already use natural gas to a great extent, and it's part of the governor's energy plan moving forward to use natural gas. And so these are all things that say, this is something that New York's got it right underneath right underneath them. It's something that many states don't have, and they're afforded the opportunity, and they can do it right.
We love it. We love it. Gentlemen from the American Petroleum Institute, Reed Porter, Robin Roerick, thanks for coming on the Vito and Vito Show, guys.
Jim, and thanks a lot.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thanks a lot. Vito and Vito with the American Petroleum Institute. Good interview. Let's get energy independent. Ladies and gentlemen, forget about it. Moments of the weekend, the Vito and Vito Show.
Forget about it? Forget about it. Forget about it.
Paul, forget about it. I love that little intro we do. All right, forget about it. Moments here, the Vito and Vito Show. Break down some of the craziest moments this past week in politics. Vito, what do you got?
Ready for this? Apparently, Democrats and some Republicans are calling for the resignation of Jeff Sessions. This is in the news, and I think this is ridiculous.
This is ridiculous.
This is what Donald Trump was talking about at CPAC, the fake news.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Starting all this, then of course all the Democrats just hop on board. Oh, he has to resign. This is terrible. Oh, he was talking to people, and he wasn't supposed to. Was Loretta Lynch talking to Clinton? And all this stuff, remember this? They're talking about the kids, right? Yeah, BS.
Well, Donald Trump issued a statement. Jeff Sessions is an honest man. He did not say anything wrong. He could have stated his response more accurately, but it was clearly not intentional. The whole narrative is a way of saving face with Democrats losing an election that everyone thought they were supposed to win. Trump also said it was a total witch hunt, which is awesome. But, not for nothing, we come back to this again. It's another witch hunt against Jeff Sessions. The fake news is out doing this again, claiming that he spoke to Russia when he clearly didn't. And it's unfair. Now, Sessions said he's going to recuse himself earlier today of working any investigation in regards to the campaign. And we're going to see where it goes from there. But I think this is ridiculous that they're going after him like this. You want to talk about some crazy stuff, this is it. What else you got, Vito?
Hillary for mayor signs are spotted in New York City.
That's terrible. Are they officially sanctioned, or are they just spotted?
They're spotted.
That's terrible. If this woman runs for mayor, she does not... Why don't you die? Is the line from Austin Powers. Why won't you die? And she won't go away. She won't go away. She will not go away, and it is annoying. And now this woman who's not even a New York City resident, she lives somewhere upstate New York, out Long Island, I don't know. She's not in New York City. We are. She's going to carpetbag her way in here. And she's going to run for mayor, and she's going to, what's worse, her or de Blasio? De Blasio's a communist, and Hillary's corrupt. So, you tell me which one's worse. This is what I have to do. Every day, Vito, I have to deal with this nonsense when I wake up in the morning.
Don't worry, Vito.
Well,
there is this thing.
Is there anything better?
Yes. The Icon.
Okay.
It is the first smart condom. It's like Fitbit for your penis. Ready?
I knew it was a matter of time before they put a computer on your penis. But go ahead, keep going.
Ready? It tracks thrusts and girth measurements. And it tracks how well you're doing. It's like a performance thing. Yeah, it's $60. The Icon. Yes, just up. United Kingdom. $60 or 60 pounds, so however that much is in dollars. And it helps detect STDs, STIs. See this video, the package Icon.
Icon, I.con.
Yep.
iCondom. Look at that. That's actually pretty clever.
Yeah, it's great.
Just hook up to
you
your
can
phone.
see how many thrusts you had. Just when don't you hate when she complains that you're too quick? Now you can prove it. Your brother was bigger. Here, I have numbers and statistics now.
Ejaculating.
You can have an intellectual argument.
Ejaculating prematurely? Try Icon. Come on, this is ridiculous.
We can think of some advertising.
Yeah, we should. I have no problem with them on the show as an advertiser. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I'm going to contact them.
Our producer in the next room there.
He got all excited.
Can you? That's it, right? What else does it do?
Data includes duration of intercourse. Yeah.
There's a large condom. Listen to that, America.
Duration of intercourse, calories burnt, number and speed of thrusts, girth measurements, different positions used per week, month, or year. You can track everything. You can track everything.
What's my thrust velocity?
Thrust velocity? Wow, that's cool.
So, this is going to make some great bar talk.
This is ridiculous. Vito and Vito, check out the show. www.vitoandvito.com, Facebook, Twitter and Instagram at Vito and Vito Show in Brooklyn.
It's nothing but